Future, a rap superstar from the city of Atlanta, where rappers' subject matter is usually made up of gang culture, drug dealings, and the lifestyle that comes along with these things. Future blew up with a flow and style that gave the mainstream audience an easy way to get into the Atlanta trap scene. However, after releasing his first major mainstream album, Honest, the rapper and his core fanbase realized that the watered-down album that was Honest is not going to work. He will not gain the legendary status that he has now if he keeps on releasing music that the label has been making. Because in contrast to the album's title, the album was not honest to the character that was Future. Following that realization, Future started the most legendary mixtape run ever with the release of Monster, Beast Mode, and 56 Nights. This mixtape run ended up culminating in the album DS2, short for Dirty Sprite 2, a follow-up to the mixtape that blew Future up initially in the rap world. The success of DS2 could not be understated, with its status as a classic in the trap genre, and its sound now is a signature to the trap scene and the music world as a whole. The first follow-up to these classic trap mixtapes and album is the collaboration of a lifetime with the biggest rap star of our generation. The first collaboration mixtape Future dropped is the mixtape with Drake, What a Time to Be Alive. It was produced by Metro Boomin. Before the release of What a Time to Be Alive, Future and Drake dropped the single Where You At for Future's previous album DS2. This song showed the audience what a collaboration from the two can be like, showing off how Future's reckless rhymes can be mixed well with Drake's life-affirming rhymes. From the popularity of that song and the chemistry that they showed off, fans of both artists were really excited for the possibility of more collaborations from both artists, and soon they will be gifted with diamonds for their ears. Before the premiere of the mixtape, Drake said this about the work ethic of Future: "When you get around Future, it's like a vortex." He said this because he went to Atlanta for a studio session with Future after the success of their song Where You're At. This studio session turned into a 6-day session that spawned this tape. This tape was filled with moody, dark trap beats that is built to dominate any sound systems that it comes across. The production fits the moody, introspective raps that Drake usually spits out, and combined with the ruthlessness and sneering street rhymes that comes out of Future, it was a tape that was built to be great. However, the dominating presence of Future throughout the project greatly overshadows what Lil Drake was able to do to show off in his songs. To understand more about each of these artists, let's look at the solo songs that they decided to put in this project. The solo song by Future in this tape is called Jersey. It is about Future living his life as a star. The lyrics tells us that he uses the money that he gets as a rap star on drugs and luxurious items, while also providing an expensive lifestyle for him and his friends. He compares the money that he makes in this lifestyle to basketball stars and their legs, because jerseys for them are like the songs that Future makes for himself. They are made to show off the lifestyles that they represent. The solo track from Drake is called 30 for 30, referencing the 30 for 30 documentary from ESPN. This title is actually really fitting because this song is the type of Drake song where we have him telling his life experiences to us, kind of like a documentary. This song tells us about his recent beef with the Philly rapper Meek Mill and how he overcame all odds to achieve victory. While it is now a song that is by the numbers for Drake, it is a memorable song filled with lyrics that is fitting for the rapper. Looking back at the whole mixtape and also understanding more about the two rappers from the two solo songs, the whole mixtape makes more sense now. This mixtape is made to celebrate all the accomplishments that the two has had in the past year. The long-awaited collab from the Atlanta native have finally arrived. From the innovative young thug that has defined rap music for a whole new generation, and the pop star trend monster that has stayed consistent to his audience. However, before this mixtape was ever rumored to drop, there was rumors of the two trappers beefing with each other, with Young Thug calling Future the Tito to his MJ, resulting in some back and forth with each other on social medias. However, soon after, in Young Thug's Jeffrey mixtape with tracks that he said was inspired by his idols. There was a track called Future Swag, where he used Future's flow as a sign of admiration. Later on, in another mixtape, Beautiful Thugger Girls, they have collaborated for the first time on a commercial project with the track called Relationships. It was their first song to hit the billboards. Then, in 2016, rumors for the two to drop a tape together began to circulate online. For the whole 2017 leading up to the release of this project, they were posting photos of themselves in the studio together before finally announcing the mixtape on October 19th, 2017. The title of the mixtape, Super Slimy, a mixture of Future's nickname Super Future and Young Thug's label and slang Slime Life, shows what they have in mind for the project, a true combination of their style and sounds. The blonde dread-headed rappers that often raps about the luxurious life that rap superstars have, both hailing from Atlanta. Not only are their lyrics and aesthetics on a similar wavelength, the way they are respected by their fellow rappers are also notable. They both have long considered to be legendary in the rap scene, from the way that they have inspired people to rap and dress in ways that are similar to them. The project is mainly produced by producers from Atlanta, showing off the signature Atlanta sound with constant hi-hats, hard-hitting 808s, and the sample and creative sounds that no other producers were able to replicate. Within this extravagant and beautiful soundscape, you can hear the pains that the rappers have experienced in life. And combined with their tight rhymes, the combinations and contrasting voices, with the mixture of the gruff voice that Future shows and the flexible high-strung voice that Young Thug vouches out in unpredictable patterns, this mixture is truly incredible. In my opinion, this project shows how impeccable these two rappers together on the same track is. The beats that they selected fits their auto-tuned voice really nicely, and then there's the way that Young Thug is able to emulate Future's voice and flow on his own. In hindsight, when this tape was initially released, fans did not feel the impact of this tape. The truly impeccable mixture of the two styles and the beats that incorporate guitars that are produced by the producer Wrld is a style of beats that will go on to make many hits in the years to come. This, in my opinion, is a really well-made mixtape that truly shows the potential of a collab mixtape. Alright, let's look at the solo songs on these projects now. And actually, there are two solo songs from both of these rappers this time. Cruise Ship, the first of the two solo songs from Young Thug, might be the happiest sounding song on this album. However, the lyrics tells us that all that he has achieved is through pain and hardship, with the pre-chorus saying, "Everything I got came from a lake." This tells us about his mindset when he is rapping and when he is coming into the rap game. Even if all the other lyrics are typical flexing verses, this tells us that it is all coming from a place of hardship. The other song from Young Thug, called Kill Before, opens with the line, "Everyone knows that I've been killed before. Everyone knows that I have been killed before." In a recent virtual charity for COVID fundraising, Young Thug tells the audience that I had a liver and kidney failure, and I kind of had sort of passed away, like I kind of died. And then the rest of the song is about flexing again. However, this kind of fits into the theme of the song. Young Thug having had a traumatic experience of death and is now no longer attached to money, so now he is willing to spend it on. He spends it on someone's school tuition, cars, stores, and in a club. The first solo song from Future is called Feed Me Dope, with the theme of the song being the usual by the numbers theme of drugs and money. It details how Future weighed the dope up, cooked the dope up, and then gets wavy like a boat. This song is by the numbers but fits the theme of the album because it tells us the hardships that he has had to endure to experience the riches. The last song by Future is called For the Gang, and the song is indeed for the gang. He starts the song with, "We don't ever stop at red lights at night," and this line is important because it is a part of the verse and not the chorus. Throughout the song, Future details how he will not stop repping his gang and getting money for his gang in order for them to live luxuriously. This song explores one vital aspect of hip-hop, the crew shows us why snitching is so frowned upon in the hip-hop culture. How could you betray your game when everything you do is supposed to be for them? The solo songs might be simple in the lyrical content, however, the simple rhymes is able to help listeners understand the hardships the rappers have felt in the past and why and who they are rapping for and how they will use this stardom to treat themselves and most importantly their families so that they will no longer have to be poor.
Hey yo, waterboy, this shit wet.
Between 2017 and 2018, Future notably dropped the albums Future and Hendrix. These albums were released one right after another, becoming the #1 albums of their week. And now that I think about it, because of the success of these albums, there are now many artists dropping follow-ups to their albums. However, they are now calling it Deluxe instead. With the single Fine China released a little bit before the release of the collaboration mixtape, this tape debuted at #2 on the US Billboard 200. The album's name tells us that its theme is going to be about drugs and how it affects and helps popularize and inspire the music that comes from the artists. The late Juice WRLD was quoted to have said that Future was the one to have inspired him to try drinking codeine and other kinds of drugs, because Future is one of the rappers that have went on to popularize drug use as a main subject matters for rappers to rap about. This tape shows the effortless rhymes that the duos have compared to the highly intricate rhymes that Super Slimey had displayed, and in contrast with how Drake seems to be an afterthought that is just along for the ride in his collab tape. This tape shows how effortless the swagger and flow two rappers can show through a collaborative mixtape. Before I go and analyze the solo songs on this tape, let's look at one important distinctive feature that this tape has compared to the other tapes. There are many features on this tape, 6 to be exact, compared to the one feature that showed up on Super Slimey. This just goes to show that the two rappers were not afraid to let other rappers come into their world and show that the collaborative sound that the two have together is so strong that other artists are able to collide with their sound as a whole. The first solo song is by Juice WRLD. It's called Make It Back. It's mainly about how Juice does drugs and does not care because now he has millions, subtly implying that the drugs are what made him his millions. Some of the lyrics on this song showed how much influence drugs has had on his life, with the opening line being, "I remember in math class, I ain't done shit. I was just stand out." Rap music can inspire kids like Juice WRLD to go on and do many great things. However, it can also lead them to their downfall, and now kids will be inspired to try drugs by Juice WRLD, just like how he was by Future. The first solo Future song is called Afterlife. It starts with Future saying, "I am popping my every morning, then I go to paradise." Another drug anthem detailing the life he lives with him taking drugs at least 3 times throughout the day. It's kind of like a meal to him at this point, to be honest. And between the drugs he does, Future laces the verses with the lives that many people could only dream to live. Notably, he ends the verses and choruses with "That's why God made," referencing that he is not only a product of his environment like he said earlier in the song, but he is made this way by God. I would like to say that this is the first collab tape in Future's collaborative mixtape runs, in which Future is not the one to be the front runner on the tape. Before this tape was released, Future has told Juice to make the cover artwork, pick the songs, and put it out ASAP. This statement really shows that Juice WRLD was the one that was making the sound of this tape and defining it too. There are more notable examples of songs having a more pop sound to them too, with songs like Hard Work Pays Off and Fine China as notable examples. Musically, this duo is a match made in heaven. The themes of their music is really similar, with the amount of music that can be turned out, with the famous freestyle abilities that Juice WRLD has shown, and the work ethics that Future has shown. They are able to use their abilities to make music quickly and effectively to the max in this tape. The emotional vulnerability and depth that could come soaring out at times, as well as how they romanticize drugs and relationships throughout the songs, makes this mixtape one of a kind. After the release of Wrld on Drugs and the death of Juice WRLD, Future is noticeably refraining from rapping about drugs in his songs. How this might impact his music, we might never know. He has one of the most streamed songs of this year, Life is Good, a collaborative song with Drake, and he has also dropped the album High of Life. This is the latest collab tape that is released by Future, and it is with the Philadelphia rapper Lil Uzi Vert. The duo released this tape under their personas Pluto and Baby Pluto, referencing the earlier tape that is released by Future called Pluto, and the persona that is used by Lil Uzi in his 2020 album Eternal Take. The duo have had a really good record of collaboration in the past, with the standout track being Too Much Sauce on the Esco tape. And so with the thought that they can make even more hits, they set out to release the records Paddock and Over Your Head as the lead singles for this tape. However, it might not have performed as strongly as they have wanted it to, because all news of the tape has stopped for a few months after the release of the two singles. Then to everyone's surprise, the tape dropped on November 13th, 2020, a Friday the 13th, where the tape dropped on midnight with 16 tracks. Then on the following week, a deluxe version dropped with more songs and the two singles added to it, making the tape a total of 24 tracks. For this tape, the trend of dropping additional songs in the deluxe version really helped the tape and fans of the artists to like the collaboration more, because this deluxe version actually sounds like two different tapes in one, with 8 tracks added in the deluxe, adjusting more to Lil Uzi's sound. The normal version sounded more like the typical Future mixtapes. However, does that really make for a good collaboration mixtape? That is a no in my opinion, because even if there are gems in this tape that fans of both artists will like, they are just songs that are featuring both artists instead of the two artists coming together to make an album that sounds great as a whole. The first solo track for Pluto x Baby Pluto is Rockstar Chains by Future, where we have Future expressing what it means to be a rock star to him. Throughout the songs, he claims that rockstar means chains to the floor, taking drugs, getting money, having his own style, having the drive to get whatever he wants. However, one thing that remains the same for Slave, no matter how much his lifestyle changes, will be where he came from. The first solo song to come from Uzi in this tape is Lullaby, where we have him start the song off with, I go off topic, I start talking about the drugs and all of the profit, and talking about the shit I learned in the streets, they gave me knowledge. These lines are really telling of how Uzi is approaching the songs in this tape, because in Uzi's breakout song Into the Mainstream, EXO Tour Life, where we had him talking about his breakup in a very emotional way, and here in this tape he tries to stray away from that subject. When he goes off and talk about the usual street rap topics, this song tells us why Uzi seems to be staying in the shadows of Future throughout the songs in this tape, and keeping true to the nickname Baby and Baby Pluto. The best quality on this tape is the energy that can be felt from both artists. While at times throughout the tape, one of the artists will be in the shadow of the other, but because of how similar they are to each other while they rap, and the energy that are consistently being matched by the other artists, it helps bring this tape to another level. For many fans, the tape did not meet expectations, and I think that is totally fine, because for collaboration mixtapes, fans of the two artists usually have different expectations for the songs, and so they need time to adjust to what the outcome of the tape truly is. And this is especially true for tapes that have just released. So now that we have looked over all the collab mixtapes that Future have dropped over the years, what is your favorite mixtape? Let's look at what Future's role is in this collection of tapes. Then I will go into my opinions on how these tapes rank. Future is an indisputable legend in the hip-hop world with a discography that is able to change the landscape of rap, and with a collection of hit songs that not many rappers are able to battle against. Future's sound is now a staple to the rap scene, and we can clearly see his influence in this collection of collab tapes, where we have many rappers go to him to borrow his sound and attract an audience they were not able to before. So first, the worst one have to be What a Time to Be Alive, where Drake is tagging along Future for the ride on his famous mixtape run. This collab might have started the trend of him making collab tapes with other artists, but this does not make a good album. This is just typical Future songs with Drake doing the usual Drake thing. The next one will have to be the newest tape, Pluto x Baby Pluto, where we have Lil Uzi doing the same thing that Drake did. However, with the addition of a tape where we have Uzi as the lead artist, the two also have a similar style. This might make the album a little bit better than What a Time to Be Alive, because it is more similar in style to both artists. The next in line is Super Slimy, where the two artists from similar backgrounds are coming together to make a tape that is able to influence a trend in the sounds for future artists. They are able to make good songs because of their similar background as legendary artists in the Atlanta trap scene. However, the songs they have made in this tape does not stand out in their discography. The best tape in this 4 mixtape lineup have to be War on Drugs, where we have two artists that is able to collide the world together with a sound and aesthetic that is able to influence and enhance each other. It shows effortless styles and flows the two is able to exhibit without hindering each other, while it is also able to gather features from other artists to help them make a tape that has not been surpassed yet in a collaborative form.